Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is William Master Gates. This is Becky Quick. Apparently, she's a reporter from CNBC. So, Bill Gates invested $10 billion in vaccines, and he's saying, she's trying to get him to say, he's trying not to say it, right, that he is getting a $200 million return on his investment. So his foundation's giving $10 million, giving in air quotes, but he's receiving back $200 million. I'm sorry, $1 billion. I meant billion. So he's given $10 billion, getting back 200.
Much for being with us. I'd like to talk to you about your approach to vaccinations. You wrote something recently, and like you always do, you kind of looked at the problem from a scientific and business perspective on things. You've invested $10 billion in vaccinations over the last 2 decades, and you figured out the return on investment for that, and it kind of stunned me. Can you walk us through the math?
Stunned her. Stunned me too.
Well, it's pretty impressive that when you take these vaccines, get them to be very inexpensive by making big volume commitments, have that right relationship with the private sector.
This is not the answer, Bill.
Get the delivery system so they're really getting the coverage out there.
How much you going to make, Bill?
You literally save millions of lives.
Okay, but how much are you going to personally receive in terms of getting money back from this?
And 20 years ago, when we created these new multilateral organizations, Gavi for the vaccines, Global Fund for HIV, TB, and malaria, we didn't know they'd be successful. They've gone through lots of challenges about making...
Challenges? How much money are you making, Bill?
Making sure the money gets there, making sure the efficiency is right. But as we look at upcoming replenishments for those, and we've got so much distraction...
Yeah, you're not answering the question, Bill. This is like some super villain, James Bond villain crap right here, right? Some... if he really wanted to answer the question, if this was a business question, if this was Donald Trump, Trump would be bragging, yeah, I made $200 billion, right? He'd be doing a victory dance of how great he is and how much money he made, right? If this was Trump, that's what would happen. And if this was Bill Gates, maybe in some other arena, if this was him back in his Microsoft days, this is a business channel. So making a lot of money and showing your investors you're doing a good job, right, is important. So bragging about it and patting yourself and everybody, your team on the back would be what you would do. Yeah, we invested $10 billion, we made 200, right? But the guy is walking around the question because, he's framed this thing like he's just giving away money with his foundation, right? But in reality, he's making a fortune. This is some James Bond villain stuff right here.
Politically, the international needs like this could get eclipsed if we're not careful.
Yeah, if we're not careful, you're not going to answer this question. We want to know how much money you're making, Bill. Bill, she asked you a question. How much money are you going to get back in terms of your $10 billion investment?
We see a phenomenal track record. It's been $100 billion overall that the world's put in.
How much you put in?
Our foundation is a bit more than $10 billion. But we feel there's been over a 20-to-1 return. But we feel there's been over a 20-to-1 return. So
$200 billion, right? You made $200 billion. That's the answer to the question, Bill. $200 billion. There's nothing to be ashamed of, Bill. You made $200 billion. Why? It's like some guy who's working for free or something. How much money are you making, Bill? Well, right now it's kind of an unpaid internship. Somebody who's like, where you living? Right now I'm in my mom's basement, but he's like ashamed of it, right? Just why are you ashamed of it, bro? So if you just look at the economic benefits, that's a pretty strong number compared to anything else. Exactly. That's quite a racket. That's quite a return on your investment, Bill Master Gates. Cut me in, Bill. How do I get in, Bill? Bill, why are you holding out on me, bro? How do I get in on this vaccine racket? 20-to-1, right? I got $100. Why can't we get it on this thing, Bill? Why are you keeping this thing all to yourself, bro?
The human benefit in millions of lives saved. So, we're here with a pretty strong message
that the vaccination business is booming, and this is before COVID. This is, years ago. I don't know when this is, last year or something. This is pre-COVID, though, right? And it's booming, bro. And now you're about to hit the windfall. You hooked yourself up great with this thing, Bill. It was quite a business move, buddy.
That although all these other issues are very important, let's not forget about the great success
The amount of money you made.
in global health and maintaining that
How much money you made. Let's not forget about that part.
commitment.
I think the numbers that you ran through were if you had put that money into an S&P 500 and reinvested the dividends, you'd come up with something like $17 billion, but you think it's $200 billion.
Here, yeah. Helping young children live.
He's totally trying to walk away from how much money he's making. Right? Bro, that's some slippery ass stuff going on there, buddy. That's some slippery stuff.
Get the right nutrition.
Yeah, you were walking away with $190 billion from a $10 billion investment. There it is, right? That's the bottom line. That's how much money you're making, right? So, $190 billion. They're in Davos. This is the big economic conference in Davos. What is that, Switzerland or something? Don't tell me. Don't care. Don't need to know. Bill Gates is walking away with a monster return on his vaccination investment. That's the bottom line. This is Paul Romano, definitely reporting from the Apocalypse. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.